So I think this is going to be the third book video that I'll make, or the third video with this title up here. Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 titles, but some of them are pretty short, and some, only really 2 of them are kind of proper books in a way. Maybe 3, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna start with showing you 2 books that I read for school. I'm not really gonna dwell in this. I just figured that since they are books and I have read them. Yes, I've read them for school, but I'll just show them. It's this one by Alexander McCall Smith, Life on Scotland Street 44. That's just the translation from the Swedish title. I would guess that it's the same in English, but I don't know. And then this one, I actually don't know what it's called, but it's by Tim Guénard. You don't pronounce it like that. He's French. You just search for his name. I think you can see the spelling here. Just search for that and you'll find this book on Goodreads, I'm sure, because I don't think he's written more than this, or if he has, then I don't know. But you'll be able to find it, I'm sure. I didn't really like either of these. I like reading if I can pick the book that I read myself, but if someone recommends me a book, I'm not really that enthusiastic about it. And sure, this is for school, so it's kind of natural that I didn't enjoy it that much. But even if someone would recommend a book to me, for some reason I don't think I would enjoy that as much either. I wouldn't look forward to reading it. So I guess I'm just trying to say that I only really enjoy reading when I can choose the book myself, and sometimes I don't even enjoy that. Sometimes there's moments when I'm like, oh, I don't feel like reading. I guess I'm not a hardcore reader. I'm a casual reader. Yeah, this one, I guess we could get it out of the way. Leslie Nielsen's Stupid Little Golf Book by Leslie Nielsen and Henry Beard. So I'll try to make this brief. The only reason I bought this, I'm not a fan of golf. Before buying this, I knew that maybe some of this is gonna go over my head. Maybe I won't understand it because there might be golf references. And that turned out to be true. Either that, or I just, of some other reason, don't understand what the jokes. I mean, I do understand some of it, but with a book that is about 130 pages and has this little text on each page, it shouldn't take you days and weeks to finish it. I mean, I have to, like, what the hell is he talking about here? I don't get this joke. Or what's this reference? What's funny about this right here? Like, I don't understand it. So I didn't finish it. And now I'm getting to, well, why did I buy it? That's pretty, the reason is pretty simple. I wasn't really gonna buy it at first. I was kind of put it on my Amazon wish list just because maybe I'd like to read it eventually. And the reason for that was because Leslie Nielsen has I believe he's only really written 2 golf books like this. Of course, a spoof on golf, his take on golf, and you all know his take on things. And his fake autobiography, or his autobiography. And I loved his autobiography. And since this was the only thing that he has written other than that, after having read the autobiography, I wanted to see if he had written anything more, if there was anything else, and well, this was basically it. So I was like, golf, no, but it is Leslie Nielsen, so maybe. And I did end up buying it, obviously, but I'm not that surprised. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't finish it, because I never stop with. I always finish the books I start. Well, there's actually one more that I haven't finished, but I'm not giving up on that one. I just haven't finished it. I've left it in the middle or in the beginning of. Doesn't matter. This one, I obviously can't say I liked it because I didn't understand all of it, or even that much of it. Yeah, okay, let's save, let's do this one. Simpsons, yeah. comic Supernova, the latest comic, or I don't know if you call this a comic or if a collection of comics, but it has a couple of stories, like 4 of them, maybe 5. They usually have 4, and sometimes there's shorter ones in between, and this one has, I believe it does have 4, and then a shorter one in the ending, something like that. Anyway, this was a lot of fun. Maybe one of the better ones. I have, well, 6 of them plus this one, and this might be my favorite one. I don't know. This was really funny. I don't know. I like this one. And I have actually 3 more on order right now because I just felt like reading more of this. I'm a Simpson nerd, and I'm loving it. Then we'll do this one, Groucho and Me, the autobiography by Groucho Marx. I believe he's written another one called Memoirs of a Mangy Lover or something like that. This one is kind of, it starts out being real. I mean, first of all, I could mention that I have read Harpo Marx's autobiography. So, and I also, from other sources, various sources, I've gathered some information here and there about their lives, their early lives and stuff. But mainly, what I know about their lives and everything, their upbringing and stuff, is from Harpo's autobiography, and you really get a very good perspective on everything from reading his autobiography. And plus the other stuff, I did already know a lot about the stuff that he wrote in here. Well, not a lot about them, not like certain experiences that he writes about, certain things that happened to him, not that type of stuff, but more sort of the situation they were in, and the type of people that they were. Like Harpo, he was the quiet and maybe he talked, but he was kind of, well, in his movies he didn't, obviously, but in person maybe he was speaking a lot, but he was kind of more shy and more not as he wasn't arrogant at all, not as, I can't find the right word here, he was kind of sensible, or I don't know. And Grouch, or Chico was the one who was, well, I'm not gonna go into all of it, but sorry. But I had an understanding of that. So some of this was kind of the same thing again, but most of it was, of course, new because it's his life, not Harpo's. Even though they grew up together and spent a lot of time together for a long time. So that part, strangely though, in a way, I enjoyed that the most when he was talking about his early life. And that's, I'm saying strangely because I was kind of more looking forward to reading about after the Marx Brothers, when he was like on his own a little bit more, when they had sort of stopped making movies in his more advanced age. But I didn't enjoy reading that as much because I thought that it was, well, it doesn't apply to all of it, but some chapters were just, some segments or whatever were just kind of just a bit weaker, and I didn't really enjoy them that much. He writes about one chapter, he's going fishing with a couple people, and while it's certainly not a normal fishing trip, it just didn't really interest me that much. And he writes about his take on golf and tennis and stuff, and I was just, this is not that interesting. And yeah, a few things were not as brilliant that I expected, but of course Groucho Marx, his sense of humor, his wit, and his whole attitude and approach to comedy is just absolutely one of a kind, and that definitely shows in this book. So I mean, he's a lovely person, really, and I love his sense of humor. Just a few things in this one wasn't that fun to read about, personally, I thought. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good book. I definitely would recommend reading this one as well. And I am going to read the second one too eventually, so obviously I liked it. And there is one about Chico as well, not written by himself, but I believe maybe by his daughter or something. Yeah, I'm really fascinated with the Marx Brothers and early vaudeville and stuff like that. Then we'll move on to something very different. It's Dawn by Elie Wiesel. If you don't know what this is, he first wrote Night, which is his own experiences, which I showed in like the first video. This is the third, obviously, and that is his own experiences as a child or as a very young teenager in the concentration camps during World War II. In Auschwitz and Buchenwald, something like that. I believe that's what they're called. Well, Auschwitz, everybody know that, but and anyway, he's still alive, and this one is basically the sequel, no, but not really. It's part 2 of the what is it called? The Night trilogy. Third one is called Day, so Dawn, Night, Day. Kind of makes sense. But it's also previously titled The Accident. Not this one, Day. But anyway, this one, Dawn, is not an autobiographical novel, which Night was, and Day isn't either, I don't think. It's fiction, but it says here, the author has built knowledge into artistic fiction, which kind of describes it pretty well, but it's the same theme. It's I should know this, but I believe it's during World War II anyway. Well, it doesn't really matter what war it is, because that's not the most important thing of this. Well, yeah, actually it is, because it takes place after the concentration camp, the release and everything. So maybe after World War II. Never mind. But it's written in first person. I think. Come on. Well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Yes, it is. I was looking for an I. But this one, briefly, what it's about is it's basically a whole moral dilemma, and a very psychological book, maybe a very symbolic book. I'm not a religious person, and he refers a lot to religion in this, so maybe I wouldn't say that a lot of it goes over my head per se, but I would say that a lot of it doesn't speak to me, or maybe some of it goes over my head, but mainly it's just the way he writes about some stuff, religious stuff, doesn't appeal to me, and I don't know. But I was gonna say what it's about. God damn it, I get sidetracked too easily. But it's basically in British-controlled Palestine. There is a young Jewish Holocaust survivor now living as a terrorist, and because they don't want the British to control them, they're trying to they kill the people, basically the soldiers. So that's kind of part of it. What it explores, if it's okay to kill for justice, I guess, or for, well, that's part of it. And so the British, I believe that they have let's see here. Well, they have sentenced a man to death, a Palestine man, I think, and so they respond with taking one of the British officers in as a hostage, and threaten to kill him at the same time as the Palestinian, I'm not sure how you say it, but as he is gonna die. And the boy, well, he's 18, I think, who has gotten the job to kill this British officer, as an act of, retaliation. Is that the word? Well, revenge, or kind of. That's the I person, and he is sort of dealing with everything that he. Well, it's about the dawn, the night and dawn that leads up to the time where he has to kill this officer, as a reaction to that the British captured one of theirs, so to speak. Yeah, it's very hard to talk about. You can make out of it what you want. I'd say it is very symbolic and very kind of spiritual and very I don't know, but it was good. I definitely thought it was well written, and it definitely appealed to me on some level. I definitely think that I got something out of it, and I will definitely check out the third one too. And if I like that, I'll check out more that he's written, I'm sure. And that wasn't definitely not a perfect description or whatever of that book, but I tried my best. Then I think I'll save this one for last. Actually, we'll do these two now. These are two Franz Kafka books, and they are part of the, oh, I should have looked it up, the trilogy of something, of loneliness, maybe, I don't know. I think that's what it's called in Swedish, trilogy of loneliness, but I don't know. Anyway, those three books are The Trial, which I already have, and then America, and The Castle. And these two, they look the same, right? But yeah, they're released from the same publishing company or whatever. And they have released all of Kafka's work, everything that he's written, they have released in these volumes. I don't know how many there are, maybe 15, 20 of them, maybe. And I'm planning on getting more of them. But that's also included his diaries and letters. So I'm not too keen on checking that out yet, but I will check out some more of his short stories. Anyway, these two and The Trial, that's the three big books he's written, like the three longer novels or the three longer books. And out of the three, I'll definitely say that I like The Trial the most. And I mean, there's so much to say about this, so I'm just not really gonna go in depth. But I'm gonna say that America, it's called The Lost One over here, pretty much. Probably the easiest one to read, the easiest one to understand and follow along. This one, The Castle, probably the most difficult one, actually, if you ask me. A lot of long, and to me anyway, maybe people who are more used to reading in general find it easy. I mean, most of it is kind of easy to, if you just read it and pay attention. It's not that difficult to understand. Not a lot of difficult words. It's just a kind of complicated. The structure of the sentence, they're not always that easy. And he goes on and on and on and on about stuff, you know. For example, one dialogue runs about 50 pages, and while Kafka, he uses his characters in order to tell stories, it still is a dialogue. She is telling the protagonist stories, and so she's telling him the stories, but at the same time she's also telling us who's reading. So that's really kind of a very simple but also very ingenious way to tell something. Yeah, so that's basically what happens in that 50-page conversation that they have. So, but still, it's two people talking for 50 pages. 90% of it is her talking. Well, doesn't matter. A person. She's doing most of the talking and telling, going through a lot of things, and this is how it is. And, well, Kafka, there's a lot to say about him, obviously, and I would like to do some sort of assignment on him someday in school. I can never pronounce that. I don't know why. Because there's a lot to say about him, and obviously I can't just say everything I want to in this video, but I'd recommend you checking out maybe some of his short stories, maybe The Metamorphosis first. He has even shorter stories as well. He has stories on only a couple pages, maybe 10, 20 pages or something. So check out those, see if you like them. Then maybe Metamorphosis, and maybe, or you can start with these, of course. You do whatever the fuck you want, but that's sort of, I'll recommend that that's how you could do it. And then this one is a fucking monstrosity. It's been a while since I read it. I got it for Christmas. I got the Kafka books for Christmas as well. This one I actually read on Christmas Eve. It took me about an hour and a half, or I should say looked at, because it's mostly pictures. But it's really nice. If you want to pay, well, a lot of money anyway, at least $30, I think. If you want to pay that much for something which, at least for me, took about an hour and a half to go through, then I think you should, because it's incredible. It is true Norwegian black metal. Not sure how far back I need to be here. I'm not quite sure where it ends. Well, you can see my head, so should be okay with this right here, I think. True Norwegian black metal. Really nice book. I'm not gonna show you inside, really. There are videos on that already on YouTube if you're interested. But 90%, maybe even more, are pictures. The book is by Peter Best. I wouldn't say that it's kind of, you can't really say that he wrote the book, because he's a photographer and he took the pictures. And as far as I've understood it, he's a pretty respected person by the people in black metal bands, for example. He's gotten some insight into, well, their lives, I suppose, and he has taken photos of that here. Basically that's what it is. It's his pictures of these black metal band members, and I don't know when exactly the pictures were taken, but a couple of years ago, I think, some years back. I think it was maybe a 3-year period or something like that, but it's not like in the early 90s or something like that, when it just started, when it was the most notorious, I guess, or when it is the most notorious. Well, you know what I mean. But it's later on, and you have, like, here you have I thought, no wait, you have a fold out timeline here, which is pretty enormous. The history of black metal, according to someone. According to Tara G. Warrior, whoever that is. And yeah, it is really good if you're interested in black metal, but in some ways it's slightly unsatisfying, because not all of the pictures are incredible. I mean, they look good, but it depends what you like. A lot of it is of nature, and then you, for example, have these pictures. I wasn't going to show you what I just said, but I'll just show you an example here. I mean, this is just basically, I don't know, it's not that special really. It's just a couple pictures of, I don't know who these people are, but black metal guys. But some of it is really intriguing. And then you don't have any captions or anything. You have to go to the end and see what who the pictures are of, and, well, who's on the pictures and stuff. So you kind of need to go back and forth and check if you want to know who's on them, if you don't already know. But anyway, I'm babbling. That's all for this time, and yeah, not much more to say. So thank you for watching, and if you read any of these, then you could tell me, if you want to, what you think about them. So see you next time.